You are watching Maximus Aviation.
There's a reason you don't see giant airline mergers much anymore, and that's because they're extremely hard to pull off. So many moving parts and tentacles must be tamed before all the proper pieces can be fitted into place to form a new cohesive airline. First, there's the equipment type to consider. Then there are the unions. The machinists, the pilots, and the flight attendant unions, just to name a few. But even if you manage to get those little ducks in a row, you have one more huge hill to climb. And that hill is U.S. President Joe Biden's executive order he signed in July of 2021 on promoting competition in the American economy. And our current president has come down hard on airlines, especially airlines trying to merge in recent years, sicking his Department of Justice to sue to stop any mergers from taking place, at least under his watch. But I'll get to that in a minute. But I say all this because the big news over the weekend was the announcement that Alaska Air has announced their plan to acquire Hawaiian Airlines for $1.9 billion. But you know, the internet and YouTube is a funny thing. Everyone is calling this a surprise announcement by Alaska Airlines. I think I even saw one YouTube thumbnail with the giant font with the words, "Oh my God," as if this were the shock merger of the century. However, it's neither shocking nor a surprise. For a better part of the year, Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines have been negotiating this deal, so it wasn't a secret or anything. You just needed to know where to look. But as far as the merger goes, it's a good idea for both airlines, but much better for Alaska, as Alaska really wants to expand and grow into the global world airline market, especially entering into the Asian Pacific airspace. And much like the U.S. needed Iwo Jima to reach Japan during World War II, Alaskan Airlines needs the Hawaiian Islands as a hub for their future Pacific dreams. According to the deal, Alaska would pay $18 a share for Hawaiian and take on $900 million of its debt. And Hawaiian stock prices have been struggling the past few years, so this is a great deal for Hawaiian Airlines shareholders. Shares of Hawaiian Airlines closed on Friday, December 1st at $4.86 a share, giving the company a market cap of about $250 million. They're down nearly 53% this year. The airline has struggled with challenges including the Maui wildfires, increased competition from Southwest, which has ramped up service in Hawaii in recent years, and a lagging recovery of travel to and from Asia after the pandemic. Hawaiian has posted net losses in all about one quarter since the start of 2020, while Alaska and other carriers have returned to more solid financial footing as the pandemic waned. Shane Tack at Alaska Airlines CFO said in an interview about the merger that what we saw here was a unique opportunity in time at the valuation that we saw Hawaiian at. He said the deal would also enable combined companies to become a market leader in the premium travel Hawaii market. The merger will expand Alaska Airlines, already the fifth largest U.S. airline, to a fleet of 365 jets consisting of Alaska's Boeing 737 narrowbodies and Hawaiian's out-of-production Boeing 717s, as well as Hawaiian's Airbus A320neo long-range narrowbodies and A330 wide-body airplanes. Hawaiian CEO Peter Ingram said Alaska's Minakuchi approached him and proposed the acquisition a few months ago. He said the Hawaiian board took a real thorough look at it and decided it is the right course of action. Alaska currently operates flights to Hawaii from Seattle, Everett, and Portland, as well as from Los Angeles, San Jose, and San Francisco in California. Although that would seem to duplicate Hawaiian's flights to West Coast cities, including Seattle, Minakuchi said the new combined airline won't cut out any flights. Hawaiian flights are all full flying to Hawaii, and Alaska flights are also full, so there won't be any reduction in service to Hawaii, he said. Minakuchi said the plan is growth as more network connections stimulate more air travel. Of course, he's talking about the huge Asian market. Minakuchi said this was a unique opportunity with Hawaiian to expand our domestic and international footprint. However, the merge is a smart move because when you combine these two networks, the pie grows because the utility of the network grows. The connectivity grows. Honolulu would become a key Alaska Airlines hub, and of course that new hub would be used to service Asia. But Edward Russell of Skift Online points out that Alaska Air Group CEO Ben Minakuchi gave an eerily familiar answer when he was asked about his view on the U.S. government approval of the carrier's proposed $1.9 billion merger with Hawaiian Airlines. He said, "I think this is a pro-consumer combination. It's pro-competitive. It makes us larger to compete against the big four, America, Delta, Southwest, and United. So we're hopeful it will be seen in a positive light." But does that sound familiar? Because it's almost the same identical case made by JetBlue Airways CEO Robin Hayes when he was bidding for Spirit Airlines last year. Last April, Hayes said the combination of JetBlue and Spirit would benefit competition by creating the fifth largest domestic airline. But we all know how that turned out due to Joe Biden's executive order of 2021. And earlier this year, with that order in their back pocket, the U.S. Justice Department challenged the $3.8 billion merger in April. And that trial in the DOJ suit to block the combination is underway as we speak in Boston right now and is expected to wrap soon. Then the industry will await a judge's opinion on whether JetBlue can merge with Spirit. But this past Sunday, Minicucci said Alaska and Hawaiian have not yet discussed their proposed deal with the public or the government. So as you can see, regardless of the outcome of the trial, it would appear that the U.S. Department of Justice will take Alaska and Hawaiian to court and try and block their attempt as well. But until they do, the planning goes on. Alaska only this fall finally emerged from the fleet and staffing complications of its $2.6 billion merger with Virgin America in 2016 that substantially expanded its West Coast network. In September, the airline stopped flying the Airbus jets it inherited from Virgin and transitioned the Airbus pilots to train to fly the Boeing 737s. The airline heralded the cost savings in this return to a simpler all-Boeing fleet. However, if the Hawaiian merger goes ahead, that too will change again. And it could prove even more complex to integrate Hawaiian with different sets of pilots, cabin crew, and maintenance mechanics servicing 4 different aircraft types. That's what you get when you make these big strategic moves, Minucci said. We'll work our way through the fleet to make sure it's optimized. Hawaiian's Ingram said the different aircraft models Hawaiian flies are all really well suited to the missions they serve. In a network with as much diversity as that, you do need some different characteristics in your fleet. He said Ben Minucci and his team, I think, will sort that out over time. To try to secure union support that would influence regulators to approve the deal, Alaska in its announcement stressed that it will maintain and grow union-represented jobs in Hawaii, including preserving pilot, flight attendant, and maintenance bases in Honolulu. Both the Association of Flight Attendants Union, which is currently in tense contract talks with Alaska Air, and the International Association of Machinists Union, representing ground workers at both airlines, expressed concern in separate statements. The Flight Attendants Union said on Sunday that our first priority is to determine whether this merger will improve conditions for our flight attendants. Our support of the merger will depend on this. Richie Johnson, the IAM's Air Transport Territory General Vice President, said his union is engaged in discussions to ensure that members' collective bargaining agreements and their rights are being protected. So there you have it. I think it's a good merger idea. What about you? Let me know down below. But will the Biden government let it happen? So far since he's been president, he hasn't allowed any airline mergers to take place. But if I have any updates, you'll be the first to know. Well, that's all I have for now. Until next time, this is Maximus.